Are Chaos Furies any good in patch 5.0.3? Well, they had quite a big change. I'll use the Veggie Nurgle variety as an example. Cost is unchanged, entities went up by 50% to 60. Health rose to 5,880, so per entity health falls to 98, and leadership went from 35 to 50. Armor, incidentally, went up to 25. The melee defense is still hot garbage at 18, went from 150 to 250, making the Furies crash in a lot harder. So the Furies are still flimsy, but it used to be that when they looked suspect, they'd start disintegrating and never looked back. Now your margin for error is a lot larger. There was never anything wrong with the Furies' melee attack, or for that matter weapon strength, and that's exactly why this is interesting. For a Vanguard deployment unit, ignoring the weak defense, 60 entities at 36 attack, magical attack, and in this case poison, and 44 weapon strength is actually very competent versus weak melee units like basic archers. Being able to hit the backs of enemy forces up on city walls was never bad. It's just that 40 entities versus an average of 120 entity infantry units was so mismatched, you just had no shot. So are Furies good now? It's more like they've been dragged up to okay, which for a tier 1 kind of demonic unit is just fine. They're much more usable in a pinch, and while it's a niche, it's not guaranteed to be a waste of space like it once was. Now, I'm bringing up all the Monogod Furies. The regular undivided one lacks special sauce and is slightly cheaper. Nurgle rocks poison and cloud of flies, which makes surviving those first 15 seconds even more critical. Khorne rocks magic resistance and frenzy. Slaanesh has reduced charge bonus but gets devastating flanker, is less damaging overall, but has armor piercing. And Tzeentch have 600 barrier hit points, and that's kind of it. But it's also kind of good. They can't get magical attack because all Furies get that by default. So, bottom line, considering the pathetic, weak state of Furies previously, this is quite a significant buff. I still hesitate to call the unit good, but that's in terms of overall strength compared to others. In terms of their ability to sneak in back and annihilate an Elven Bolt Thrower unit during a siege, that's fantastic! In other words, they just became 50% stronger at their narrow niche, and for them, offense, and outranging the enemy, are your only defense. This should help you use them as cheap air hammers, or as sacrificial temporary anvils, while cavalry-style units crash in from what was until 5 seconds ago the front of the unit being attacked. Back before the Nurgle rework, you couldn't even get more than a handful of Furies until late game, which is ironic, but I would consider them as second army reinforcements, able to zip over a lot faster than any other sort. Sometimes, with the right angle, or just given enough time, you can completely humiliate a superior foe by wiping out backline units like this. Not bad for expendable elemental entities. Take care, and have fun being cheeky with your ranged, loving opponents.